So, 2010 you played here, but shortly after there was some troubles. You went to Australia to play, and then Milo lost his voice. How is his voice now? Has he been working out to do something about that, or?
Yeah, I just think as people get older, they have to not take for granted the idea that they can just do everything the same way they did when they were a teenager. Like with me with the drumming, I have to just be sure that I stretch myself properly, and I have to do like a lot of practicing beforehand to make sure that everything goes well. Whereas maybe when we were younger, we could get up there and just kind of do it, because you're younger and you're sort of more resilient and more, and stronger. So yeah, when we first started doing shows again, which I would mark that time frame as the end of 2010. I mark it by after my brain surgery, like after I recovered from my brain surgery, we started doing shows again. Yeah, we had to sort of learn how to kind of do it right, and so it took a few like pulled muscles or losing voices. That's all part of it, though. To the kind of music we play, there's such a sort of an urgency to it, and so sometimes you do pull things out or blow things out. It's all kind of part of it.
Isn't that hard sometimes because you're only doing a few shows now, like 1 or 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's funny. Carl and I, we'll practice for like a month to play one show. that's yeah.
Ready and getting pumped up for that.
Yeah.
You're only doing a few shows this year in Europe. Groezrock has really lucky to be having the 2 shows. But how do you decide to do such one-off shows? Do you really have luxury to pick one of them out? Because a lot of bands are touring. And
yeah, we do have the luxury to just pick them out. I mean, we try to go to different areas so that people can get a chance to see us, all over. But like so far, for instance, we haven't made it to China or to South America. There's certain places that we haven't got to yet. I hope we're able to get there soon.
Actually, that was my next question. How do you feel like playing Indonesia or Russia or those places?
At this point, for us, I think the more remote the location, the more attracted we would be to it.
It's a new crowd. They haven't had the chance to see you, so it's uncharted territory.
All has been a few more places than Descendents have. So all just did so much more touring. But neither band has been to China. All went to South America one time, but I mean it was like 20 years ago.
Yeah. So there are no plans to do that again, or not really?
No, I want to. We want to.
Well, logistically,
I think we're starting right now. We're kind of starting to focus on working on our new record. So we might play less shows over the next year, so we can use our time to get the record done.
Focus now because you have some new songs going on over a couple of years now.
Yeah.
So you're working on a new album.
Yeah.
Any insights on that? Is this going to be direct or not settled
the
yet?
label?
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah. You're still working on songs right now, so it's going to be 2014 or next year?
I think 2015. Yeah.
Just taking your time to get everything together and then release the record.
Yeah, we all have a lot of stuff that we do, and so with the Descendents recording, it's always been something that we just do it whenever we want to. Like, we don't really operate on a schedule.
Yeah, I guess it must be difficult because you also have the blasting room studio, so it takes a lot of time there. Milo has his job, everyone else has their project, so it's hard to get together and start practicing or start writing songs.
Yeah, a lot of us have kids too and all that, so it's just, life life moves.
A lot of
moves
planning
on,
and
yeah, life moves forward.
scheduling the stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so nowadays you become like a household name in punk rock. But back in the days you were just like a small band in the scene. How does it feel to become so iconic all of a sudden? Because now the logo that Chris Sherry once drew is like, you see people having tattoos, it's all over, it's like an icon.
Well, I probably should get the record straight on the logo. You know, that was something from our high school. Our friend Roger drew that, the Milo. He's the one that invented it. But yeah, Chris Sherry does obviously a tremendous amount of our artwork. Like nowadays, yeah. But originally, that was drawn by one of our classmates in high school.
Just like doodle, and then like that became like this symbol. So.
But really, though, to answer your question, I just feel I feel fortunate to have been able to be involved in something creative that also people seem to admire and even respect. It's a good feeling, or even on a small level, if a fan comes up and says that a certain lyric to a certain song, it made them feel better about something. I mean, that's a pretty rewarding situation to be in. It's quite satisfying.
Like in the past, you also played for like 100 people. Today you're playing for thousands of people, probably on the main stage. Have you ever considered going back to that, like doing a small show that nobody knows who you are, just storming a stage and playing?
We played one in New York a few months back, or I don't know how long ago it was. Could have been a year. We played this place that holds like 125 people. That was fun. I like that. I like small clubs. All of my best memories of shows were in small clubs. I prefer it.
It's always nice to have like the small crowd and then intense energy in there.
Yeah, I prefer it.
Like we seen Adolescents last year. They did like Hippo Fest, which is a festival, but they did a little club show with like 30 people, but the energy was insane there. So is that what you want to reconnect with, or do you like playing these big stages?
I feel like it's, for us, we kind of have to make it work on both levels. We try to create an intimate environment when we play on a big stage too. One thing we do is we set up our stuff really close to each other. So even though it's on a big stage, Carl's just like 3 meters from me, and so is Stefan, and so is Milo. So our energy together is that way.
Together.
Yeah.
Recently there was a documentary about the Descendents filmage. I don't know how much you guys were involved in it, or probably guys did interviews with you, but how was it? How did it come forward?
Well, these fans just wanted to make a movie about the band, and I think they seemed like they were going to do a good job, and so we agreed to it. I think they did a good job. We would have never been organized enough to try to do it ourselves or hire people. So these guys kind of came to us and said, "Hey, we want to do this," and so
you're okay with the result of it?
Yeah, we weren't really involved with every little decision. I mean, we let them put it together, and then if we had thoughts or comments, we would let them know. But really, we just more let them do it. I don't know. Making a movie about yourself is just weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotional stuff in it also. I've seen a part of it, and they also talk about the tumor you had, so that's part of it.
Yeah.
Also the death of Frank.
Yeah.
Also an emotional part, so it's not always easy bringing up those memories. But it all went okay, so Yeah, it's a great one. You guys are all reaching 50 now. Like you said, it must be, it takes a lot of time to work out before the shows. You need to practice a lot. You all got kids, mortgages, steady jobs, so lots of responsibilities. Is it difficult to get the shows on the road now? Because I sometimes find it's a bit weird because on the one hand, the Descendents sing songs about not growing up, about farting, and then now you're all responsible parents. So don't you have to tell your kids sometimes, oh, don't do that because I made the same mistakes in the past, or?
Yeah, I always try to remember the idea of not wanting to be like a hypocritical parent. So I just treat my kids are 12 and 15. I treat them like adults. I mean, I talk to them like adults. And if I did something stupid when I was a kid, and I think that they're gonna do that same stupid thing, I'll sit down and talk to them, and I'll say, "Hey, here's what happened. Here's what happened when I did whatever." You know. But you know, every kid's different. Every kid's different, and I mean, every generation's different. The kids of this generation it's completely different. I mean, me growing up in Los Angeles in the 70s, that's totally different than what's going on now. My kids are growing up in Colorado in 2012, 14, 16, 18. So you just have to, I mean, it's just like parenting and all that responsibility. I mean, it's just life is about, I think, exercising integrity in the moment of decision. And so if I have an interaction with them, I have to just try to use integrity.
So next to the Descendents song, you also have the recording studio, but also in Holy Crime. There's a new record coming out. Do you have anything to say about that, or?
Well, it's really nice to have the Only Crime record coming out. Only Crime was really I think Only Crime was the worst victim of my having been sick, because right when Only Crime was really getting going, like 2006, 2007, was when I started getting sick, and the effects of the brain tumor were just making me not really able to do things as well. So for us trying to write songs back then and be a band, it was kind of difficult. And so that was one of the first things that I tried to do is, after I recovered from my illnesses, was to try to get the Only Crime recording going and get it finished and find a label for it. And so now it's finally coming out, and I don't know, when's it coming out? Late June or something like it's coming out pretty soon.
The release pretty soon, but well, it must be hard also with Russ. He's also got solo work. He's got good riddance.
Oh yeah, scheduling Only Crime is impossible. Yeah, it's all impossible. Yeah, my calendar just looks like somebody just
too many callers and blocks.
Yeah.
We seen the show a couple of years ago. You did the one with No Use for a Name in Brussels. It was Only Crime.
Oh yeah, so see, I wasn't on that.
Probably, yeah.
No, I wasn't. I'm saying that's when I was sick, and like they would.
I think it was 2009
They would go. They were going, and we had this drummer Luke that was playing instead of me because I just couldn't make it.
Pretty hard time, man. Okay. So the mandatory coffee question. Descendents also has their own signature coffee now. Could you tell us something more? How did that came, or is that just?
I started working with this local roaster in Fort Collins because I wanted a coffee for two reasons. I wanted a coffee so that we could just have it at the blasting room that was that was our coffee and that I could buy it in large quantities and get a good price on it. So I started working with this roaster, but also knowing that once we got a good roast that we really liked, that we could also put it in we could sell it as Descendents coffee. Yeah, so I think it's fun. I think people like that. I think it's fun.
Something new. I mean, most people bring hot sauces or something else, but coffee hasn't been done that much before, so.
Yeah, and I mean we're the band that should do
It's
it.
the bands, yeah.
No, not another band.
So it's perfect for making a bonus cup then.
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's it for me. So I think we're finished.
Cool. Okay. Thank you very much.
I have a question. Can I get a picture?